Yeah. Nah, I would say for me in the environment that I grew up in, um it was mostly uh I wasn't around a lot of interracial dating. And then when my brother Darnell met his wife and like she was a Latino, I was like, oh, okay. Didn't really care, maybe, never mind. But I was like, oh, I'm around interracial dating now, right? And then like
Mm-hmm.
meet your wife and Alyssa being a white woman, it's like, oh, this is dope. And I told her, it's like, I never realized how much I appreciated the diversity of y'all's family and just being able to be around like a different mix of people and different cultures and getting to talk to people and understand their perception, their worldview, and so on and so forth. Whereas in the past, it's
Yeah, yeah,
black. But yeah, man, like I don't know if there was ever like if it ever meant anything to you, if you ever cared, if you ever had like a particular type of woman, but like did it ever like mean anything to you, whether or not like she wasn't black or she wasn't a particular type for you, or she was a white woman or whatever you how the
yeah.
world may view y'all or whatever.
So it did. This is a Darnell. I feel like Darnell can relate to me on this. This is a it is a tough conversation sometimes to have. I mean, like, look, like I was. God, I know she's gonna hear this one, so I'm trying to.
Oh,
I'm trying
this is gonna get you in trouble with like a
No,
political
no, no,
question.
no. It's no, it's no, it's not. It's not. It's no. We come from the background, right? We all come from the background where it's like beware, of the white woman. You know, we've seen a lot of things happen where we haven't come out the other side, like after being with a white woman, and so I grew up with the mentality of like, one, I'm never gonna date a white girl,
Mm,
right? And number two, like I would never like marry a white girl. Like any guy who I seen like that is a sellout. Like that's kind of how like I grew up, like the frame of mind that I had.
mm-hmm,
Um, and then uh like I said, that first conversation that we had together, like I wasn't considering, actually like dating this girl. Like I wasn't considering, that it be something overly serious. I was just like giving it a shot. Um Also too, so like since I like when I gave it a shot and we had that conversation, I was like, okay, this girl just changed the game, right? Which made me kind of rethink really all the I guess the ideologies that I had like growing up. Like I had to reconfigure like the way I was looking at a situation. And so and it's still a process, like with parents and with families and stuff combining. It's still a process because these are two polar opposite cultures, right? That you're trying to combine. And so I think that like there's difficulties that come with that. As far as our relationship and being like a interracial couple, I feel like we live in Miami, we live in South Florida. Like it doesn't feel different. It doesn't feel like,
mm-hmm.
yeah. It doesn't feel like we're
It's
in an interracial couple, because like every couple down here is an interracial couple.
All right.
But where we feel it is because I feel like I don't really live in typical America down here. Like I get culture shock when I leave Miami and I go, to like Jacksonville or Atlanta or North Carolina or wherever, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is America. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
America's fucking like America's America's a scary place, bro. Like South Florida is very different, and I think that we're spoiled down here a little bit because there is such a culture of sharing cultures and experiencing different nationalities and ethnicities and races, and just appreciating everybody for who they are. Um, and so we kind of got spoiled by that. It allowed us to explore this relationship, and then now that we've explored the relationship, you're kind of like unlearning, some things that you learned in the past, but at the same time, you've got to make sure that you don't forget the past and that you like continue the culture. It's like it's a delicate balance of trying to like right wrongs too. Like I'll tell you a story like with her grandma, like God rest her soul. Like her grandma, obviously a older, white female from a specific time where you just know that the ideals that she had in the past were a norm, it just is what it is. That's what she grew up around. That's like how she was. And as her grandmother grew, like her grandmother kind of changed her mentality, right? But I was the first black person, like black boy that she actually cared for. And me and her grandmother
Wow.
like built a really, really good relationship. Like a really, really good relationship. And when everything happened, in the summer of 2020 with George Floyd, that was the first time that her grandma was like, damn, like she feared. Like that was the first time where her grandmother felt the fear that we feel like through me.
I'm.
And that was the time where she could finally like understand like what we go through,
I
you know.
mean,
So,
if she probably would have. She probably would have retuned her thinking back to the old days as she talked to Christian. But
Yeah,
but
yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
yeah, but it like and to me like the struggle of really like combining the cultures, and then you thinking about us having kids and the kids having two cultures that they have to learn about, good and bad from both, like I, to me, I think it's beautiful. It's a challenge, and like some folks, like it, some folks don't like it. Honestly, I'm not here to impress nobody else anyway. So like, it is what it is. But I think most folks that see it and get to like actually get to know us, like they respect it and they love it. So I think it's an enjoyable journey. Like I said, it was about the person, man. It wasn't about the race. Uh, that was the whole thing. Like if it was about the race, um, me and her would have never gotten a shot. Like my whole thing with Alyssa was that I found someone that like shared the same values and was that was like me. And then at the same time, man, like bro, me and this girl like made it out the mud. Like you know what I mean? Like we struggled together. Like we freaking like built something together. And it wasn't to me it's not about race, it's about the person.
definitely, man, love is love.